Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming out today. Today's speech is going to be a fun fact speech, and it's going to be about the origin of the paper airplane. Next. Okay. But I pose a question before I begin, is which came first, the paper airplane or the airplane? Okay, don't answer the question yet. Let me finish my speech, and after I give you some historical background on paper airplane, you can decide for yourself which one came out first. Okay, I'll tell you what I use paper airplane for. I use it for three reasons: the wastebasket, competition, and friends, and I'll explain that in a moment. Okay, you know when you're working and you have all these things in your mind, you just want to take a break, a mental breakdown, or not a mental break, but just a break. What I do is I make a paper airplane, all right, just like this, and I take a wastebasket and I put it in the corner, and when I really don't want to work, I take this paper airplane and I toss it into the wastebasket, because that's a fun thing to do, to waste time. Okay, or competition, I make a paper airplane, and I make you guys make paper airplanes. And then we throw it to see who can throw it the farthest, and whoever wins, usually I hope it's me, you know, I get happy, and it's fun, and once again. Or friends, go back. Or friends, you know that guy that's continuously working on there, you know, we got one of those guys, like, you know, right there, you know, Booze, and he just plugging away, and you just want to get his attention, you make a paper airplane, you take it, and hit him across the head with it. I think that's a lot of fun. Next. Okay, but before we get to paper airplanes, let's talk about how we got to paper airplane, and let's talk about paper. Okay, like where did paper come from? And 2,000 years ago, the Chinese introduced to the world paper. And that was during the Han Dynasty, and it was Kai Lung in 105 AD who made paper. And this is how he made it. He took twine, and if you know what twine is, it's a little piece of, you know, strings. He took broken cloth, and then he took unused nets. He mashed them all together, and he made paper. And that's how paper got made, which is pretty cool. And why he did it was he was tired of using other things for writing, and he used paper, and that's how he wanted to write history. So he did it for writing purposes. Right. Okay, now, when you make paper and for writing history, some people use it for other things to invent. And Leonardo da Vinci, during the Renaissance, about 1500s, did a lot of drawings, and everybody knows them. He did paintings and stuff, the Mona Lisa and all that good stuff. But what he did was he took paper and he made his drawing. This is an ornithopter, okay, a version of a helicopter today. Okay, that's how he was thinking back in those days. Very genius guy. Okay, and what he did is he drew it, but then he took pieces of paper and modeled what he drew to test it out. Next. And these other inventors did the same thing. The Montgolfier brothers are from France. In the 1700s, they were the ones who credited doing the hot air balloon. How did they do it? They put it on paper, they did a model of it with paper, and then that's how they tested it. The same thing for the Wright brothers. Who doesn't know the Wright brothers' invention of airplanes? But how they did it was they looked at a flight of seagulls that they fly, they looked at them and studied them, then they drew it on paper, and then they did a model of it. And then Wallace Rigby is a businessman. That's when paper airplanes became very, popular. And he made a business, came to the United States, he made a business. So you can go to his store, and for 5 cents, he can give you a kit. And why his name is here is because he was credited with doing tabs. So you can cut the piece of paper, and you can connect the tab to the paper, it becomes a paper airplane. Very smart guy. Okay, and Jack Northrop, in the 1930s, he worked with the airline industry, and he made paper airplanes to test the gliding of the wingtips of paper. Pretty cool. Okay. Okay, during World War II, this is when paper became very popular. There was restrictions during World War II. You could not, no businesses were allowed to make wood, metal, and plastic for anything, except for making war products. That was the only reason you could do it during that time. Okay, so paper was inexpensive, and that's what businesses did. They used paper to make all sorts of things, and one of them was the production of paper airplanes, believe it or not. And then General Mills, everybody loves cereal. Okay, there's so many out there, but in those times, if you took 2 General Mills cereal boxes and you cut out the top and you send it in with 5 cents, they will send back to you a paper airplane. Pretty cool. And then when World War II ended, unfortunately, that's when paper was no more popular. They went back to the restrictions was taken away. Wood, metal, and plastic were used to make toys and other things again. So paper just went away. popularity of it. Okay, next. Okay, in conclusion, we have to do a few shout-outs to certain people, okay? Like Kay Lung, if they mention a paper about him, we won't be here today with all this piece of paper that we have. Everybody has some sort of piece of paper. But so thanks to Kay Lung and renowned inventors like Leonardo da Vinci, Montgomery Brothers, and Wallace Rigby, and all those guys, they took paper and made it more than just paper and created wondrous things with it, with models of what they do. Before you decide, have you decided which one came first, the paper airplane or the airplane? In my opinion, who cares? At least you have fun with it. Thank you very much.